I didn't cry when I saw the message. I didn't scream when I saw the hotel booking. I didn't even flinch when I realized the immigration lawyer wasn't a lawyer. I only cried when I saw my own face on a document I never signed. And the worst part? He kissed my forehead that night, like a good man, and whispered, "We're almost safe now." Safe from who? Turns out safe from the truth. My name is Maya. I'm 27. I was born in Seychelles, but the UK has been my real life for years. Not the postcard UK, the one where your feet ache, your rent is hungry, and your smile is your uniform. I'm a waitress in a busy restaurant in the London suburbs. Mid-range. Loud. Birthday candles, loud laughter. People pretending their lives are perfect for 2 hours. I learned something quick. People don't tip your pain, they tip your performance. So, I performed. Not because I'm fake, because survival turns all of us into actors. I lived in a small flat with my boyfriend, Elliot. At first, he claimed he was British, but I later found out he is from a country in the north of America. Charming in the way some people are charming when they're hungry. Not hungry for love, hungry for advantage. When we met, he made it feel like fate. He asked questions like he cared. He touched my hand when I spoke. He called me Island Peace. That nickname should have warned me, because men who call you peace usually plan to bring war. I ignored the warning signs because love is a soft drug. It dulls your instincts. It makes you explain away things you would call dangerous if it happened to your friend. Elliot said he wanted to build a future. He said I was different. He said I deserved stability. And then he started talking about papers, immigration, settling properly. I want to make sure nobody messes with you while I am here, he said. I didn't ask for a savior, but I won't lie when you're tired. A confident voice sounds like a solution. He started small. Give me your passport copy. I'll keep it safe. Send me your payslips. I'll organize everything. Don't worry. I know people who can help. At first it felt caring. Then it became controlling. Don't post online too much. Don't talk about your status. Let me handle it. You just trust me. Trust. That word is expensive when you give it to the wrong person. And I did. Because at the time, Elliot didn't look like a villain. He looked like the man who held my hand across a table. The man who waited outside my workplace when it was raining. The man who called me before my shift and said, "Have a good day, beautiful." But evil doesn't always arrive in a black hoodie. Sometimes it arrives with flowers and a plan. The first crack didn't start with a fight. It started with a notification at 2:13 a.m. That night, Elliot was asleep. I was half awake, drifting in that weird space between dreams and reality. Then his phone lit up on the nightstand. Just a quick flash. A message preview appeared on the lock screen. It said, "Can't wait to see you again, Talia." I blinked, thinking maybe my tired eyes were playing tricks on me. Maybe I'd imagined it. My brain did what betrayed brains always do first. It denied. Maybe it's a cousin with a weirdly flirty emoji habit. Maybe it's a colleague. Maybe it's just spam, some random wrong number. I turned my head and just watched him breathe, so peacefully, like a man with absolutely nothing to hide. And that, right there, is how so many people stay in bad relationships for way too long. Because the liar's calm is so convincing. It makes you believe the problem is all in your imagination. The next day, He acted completely normal. He made me tea, just how I like it. He kissed my cheek before he left for work, asked me about my shift. I tried to swallow the discomfort, but it just sat in my throat like a heavy stone. Looking back, the signs had been there for a while. I just hadn't connected them. Weeks before the text message, the paper talk, as I call it, had really ramped up. He introduced a new name into our conversations, a Mr. Clark. He called him an immigration guy. Not a lawyer, not an official agent. An immigration guy, he'd say. He's not a lawyer exactly, but he knows the system inside and out. That was the first real red flag I should have paid more attention to. Serious. Official processes don't need shady, unofficial titles. Then he started asking for money, but in a way that sounded so reasonable at the time. Small amounts here and there. A consultation fee, a processing fee, a fee for a fast-track service. He'd frame it like he was doing me a huge favor, helping me avoid trouble and delays. Fear is such a powerful leash. And if you've ever lived as an immigrant, if you've ever felt that constant, low-level anxiety about your status and your future, you'll understand this. When you love someone, and you're also terrified of instability, you become incredibly easy to manipulate. It's not because you're foolish or naive. It's because you're human and you're vulnerable. Soon, Elliot started managing all my documents. It started with a suggestion. Why don't you let me keep everything in my desk drawer? It's safer. Then it became a rule. It's just better if it's all in one place, so nothing gets lost. When I ask for copies for my own records, he'd just laugh and tease me. Babe, you don't trust me. And just like that, the conversation would flip. Suddenly, I was the one on the defensive, having to justify why I wanted control over my own identity. That's another classic psychological trick. Reversal. They do something deeply suspicious, and somehow, by the end of the conversation, you're the one apologizing for even noticing. I also started to notice Elliot's moods. They weren't random swings. They were strategic. When I was compliant and didn't ask any questions, he was the most romantic, loving partner you could imagine. But the moment I asked for details about Mr. Clark or about where the money was going, he'd become cold and distant. He'd shut down, making me feel like I was being difficult or paranoid. And then, when I'd get quiet and retreat into myself, feeling guilty, he'd become sweet again, pulling me back in. That cycle is a well-known manipulation tactic called intermittent reinforcement. It's the exact same pattern that gets people addicted to gambling. You get just enough of the reward, just enough of the good times, that you keep tolerating all the bad, always hoping that the good version is about to return. But I wasn't addicted to Elliot. Not really. I was attached to the future he was constantly describing. A future with stability, a future with a visa, with a home, a future with no more fear. He was selling me a dream, and I was buying it with my savings and my trust. Then, one afternoon, my phone rang while I was at work. It was an unknown number. I answered, and a deep voice with a very professional tone said, "Hello, is this Maya? I'm calling from the immigration service regarding your application." My heart literally jumped into my throat. It sounded so official, so real. He mentioned documents. He talked about verification and next steps. Everything sounded legitimate. And then he said something that felt off. He said, "You need to send the remaining fees by bank transfer today so we can proceed with the final approval today." That urgency. It's like a scammer's signature perfume. It's designed to make you panic and stop thinking clearly. I tried to stay calm. I asked, "Could you please email me the details from an official government address?" He chuckled softly on the other end of the line. It wasn't a friendly laugh. It was condescending. "Email is slow, Maya," he said. "We do things much faster here." My hand was shaking when I hung up the phone. Not because I knew the truth yet, not for sure, but because every single one of my instincts was screaming at me that something was terribly wrong. That evening, Elliot came home with a big smile on his face. He kissed me and asked so casually, "So, did Mr. Clark call you today?" My stomach turned to ice. I managed to nod and say yes. Elliot's smile got wider. "Good," he said, rubbing my shoulder. "See, we're moving. Things are happening." How did he know? How did he know Mr. Clark had called me? The answer was suddenly, sickeningly clear. He wasn't helping me navigate a system. He was coordinating with them against me. He was part of it. 2 nights later, I stopped guessing. I stopped denying. While he was sleeping peacefully beside me, I picked up his phone. I had to know. I'm not proud of going through someone's phone, but I'm even less proud of how long I ignored my intuition. Elliot was in the shower. His phone was on the bed. I told myself, one quick look, just to calm my mind. The screen unlocked with a code I already knew because he'd once said, "I don't hide anything from you." Funny line, dangerous line. I found Talia immediately. It wasn't just flirting. It was a full-blown relationship running alongside mine, like a parallel life. There were voice notes. "Baby, I miss you." Photos. Hotel booking confirmations. I felt numb. It was like my body had turned the pain down because it was too much to process all at once. Then I saw the message that changed everything. It was from Talia. "Did she send the money for the application?" Elliot's reply. "Yeah, she trusts me. Just act sweet when you see her." My skin went cold. Cheating hurts. But cheating plus fraud? That's not just heartbreak. That's a crime wearing perfume. I kept scrolling. There were conversations between Elliot and someone saved only a C. They were talking about documents, about stamps, about signing, about getting her to relax once it's done. Then a line from Elliot made my hand shake. "She won't report. She's scared." He wasn't just betraying me. He was calculating me. It's a textbook case of betrayal trauma. The mind goes into a freeze response, going quiet just to survive the initial shock. I just sat there, listening to the water from the shower running like a countdown timer. I didn't confront him, not yet, because if Elliot was truly running a scam, then confronting him would only teach him what I knew. He'd delete everything, deny everything, twist it, and probably even make me look like the problem. So, I did what my job taught me to do. I collected evidence. I took screenshots. I forwarded the key messages to myself. I saved the voice notes. I photographed the hotel confirmations. I breathed slowly, like a woman trying not to drown. When Elliot came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around his waist, he smiled and said, "You okay, babe?" And I smiled back because sometimes survival is acting. Yeah, I said, just tired. That night he cuddled me like nothing had happened. And I stared at the ceiling, thinking, how can someone hold you with what feels like love in their arms and still be planning your destruction? The very next day, Elliot started being extra sweet, too sweet. He brought home flowers. He offered to cook dinner. He asked about my day with this fake, over-the-top tenderness. My brain immediately noticed the timing. Love bombing right after a betrayal isn't love. It's damage control. Later, I saw a folder on his laptop labeled My Docs. My stomach dropped. Inside were scanned copies of my ID, my payslips, a draft form with all my personal details typed out neatly, and a signature that looked like mine. But I never signed anything. I closed the laptop and felt my lungs tighten. This wasn't just cheating anymore. This was identity theft, happening inside the intimacy of my own home. That evening, I found the fake law firm, and what I discovered made me realize Elliot wasn't new at this. This wasn't his first time. I typed the name of the law firm from the document into Google. The first thing I noticed was nothing official came up. No business registration, no proper website, no address that matched the one on the letterhead. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I tried the phone number. It rang a few times, then clicked over to a generic, automated voicemail. No company name, no personal greeting, just a robot voice. I searched again, this time putting the firm's name in quotation marks to force an exact match. Still nothing, just a few random, unrelated hits. Then, I copied the address printed on the letterhead. I pasted it into Google Maps. My heart was pounding, a slow, heavy drumbeat in my ears. The little pin dropped. The street view image loaded. It was a nail salon. A nail salon. My first reaction wasn't tears or anger. It was laughter. Just one sharp, ugly laugh that ripped out of my throat. It wasn't funny. Not at all. But sometimes, when your mind can't process the horror, your body just laughs because it doesn't know how to scream. I went back to the draft form he'd shown me. Now, with my eyes wide open, the flaws were glaring. There were errors a legitimate professional would never make. Weird formatting choices, odd spacing between paragraphs, a sentence that just ended abruptly. And the stamp, the official-looking stamp in the corner, it looked pasted on, like a bad Photoshop job. That's the thing about fake documents. They're not designed to fool a careful person. They're designed to fool a fearful one. And Elliot had used my fear against me. He had used my love for him. He had used my desire for a stable future together. Then I did what I should have done months ago. I opened my banking app. I scrolled back, month by month, and there it was. A trail of transactions, months of transfers. The descriptions read fees, processing, appointment costs, all of them routed to accounts that I now realized Elliot controlled. Or they were timed perfectly with cash withdrawals he'd made. The numbers swam in front of my eyes. It was a lot, more than I wanted to admit. I slid down the kitchen wall until I was sitting on the cold floor, just staring at the empty space in front of me. The reality was crashing down. This wasn't just a simple case of my boyfriend cheated. This was something much darker. This was my boyfriend built an elaborate trap using my own identity, my money, and my trust as the bait. It's a common reaction in these situations. When betrayal and fraud combine, victims often blame themselves. It's a strange coping mechanism. The thinking goes, if you somehow caused it, then you can control it from happening again. But that's a lie. It's a way the mind tries to make sense of the senseless. I stood up, walked to the bathroom, and looked at my own reflection in the mirror. My eyes were red. I looked exhausted. I took a deep breath, and I said the words out loud to the person staring back at me. You are not stupid. You were targeted. And in that single moment, something shifted. The self-blame started to drain away, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I decided right then. I would not confront him emotionally. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of a dramatic fight. I was going to end this strategically. But strategy requires patience, and patience is incredibly hard when your heart feels like it's bleeding out. So, I made rules for myself. Simple, clear rules to guide me. 1. No emotional fights. No screaming. No crying in front of him. 2. No threats. I wouldn't tell him I knew. Wouldn't give him a chance to run or cover his tracks. 3. Collect proof. Hard, undeniable proof of everything. 4. Protect my own legal status. I had to make sure I wasn't implicated in his mess. And 5. The most important rule. Make sure the consequences for this land squarely on the person who deserves them. That night, Elliot came home. He walked in, dropped his keys in the bowl by the door, and he kissed me, just like any other day. He asked, "Any news from Mr. Clark?" the name of the fake lawyer. I felt a chill run down my spine, but I managed a small, gentle smile. "Not yet," I said, my voice steady. Elliot looked genuinely disappointed for a second. Then he brightened, his whole face lighting up. "It's okay," he said, putting his arm around me. "We're so close." Close. Close to what? I thought. Close to him finishing the scam and taking everything he could. I watched him eat the dinner I'd cooked. I watched him laugh at a dumb joke on TV, and a terrifying realization hit me. People who do truly evil things don't always look evil. They don't have horns or a sinister glare. They look ordinary. They look normal. And that's what makes psychological predators so dangerous. They blend in. They look just like everyone else. Later that night, after he'd fallen asleep, his soft snores filling the room, I picked up his phone again. My hands were shaking, but this time it wasn't from fear. It was from adrenaline. I unlocked it. This time, I didn't just scroll. I searched for keywords: passport, signature, fee, paper, appointment. And then I found them. Messages to his friends. Messages where Elliot was explaining my personality like he was reading from an instruction manual. One message read, "She won't cause drama. She's too proud." Another said, "She fears embarrassment more than anything. She won't want trouble." He was weaponizing my dignity against me. He was using my best qualities as tools for his deception. I started recording everything. I took screenshots. I used my own phone to video his screen as I scrolled through the chats. Then I backed it all up in 3 different places: on the cloud, on a hard drive, and I emailed it to a secret account. Because I knew, if someone is willing to forge your signature on a piece of paper, they are more than willing to rewrite your entire reality to save themselves. The next phase was going to be the hardest part of my entire life. I had to live with him, sleep next to him, and pretend that I still loved him all while I was secretly preparing his downfall. Once I stopped being his girlfriend, I became an observer. The moment Elliot sensed I was pulling away, he tightened his grip. His control tactics escalated almost immediately. The questions started pouring in. Who are you talking to? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? You're acting weird. What's going on? And just when the pressure felt like it was too much, he'd switch to affection. Come here, babe. You know I love you more than anything. You're my future. You know that, right? This is the classic predator's two-step dance. First, pressure, then comfort. First, fear, then warmth. It's a deliberate strategy designed to confuse your nervous system. Your brain gets so overwhelmed by the roller coaster of emotions that it starts to crave their moments of calm. You become dependent on them for relief from the very anxiety they're creating. It's a vicious, exhausting cycle. But this time, I didn't take the bait. I didn't argue or defend myself. I simply mirrored his manufactured calm. I gave him plausible, mundane excuses. I'm just really tired from work. I'm feeling stressed about money. That's all. Sorry. I'm just overthinking things again. He loved hearing that. It was music to his ears because it kept the spotlight, the scrutiny, completely off of him. It made my behavior my problem, not his. With me seemingly back in line, he pushed the urgency again. We really need to submit these documents soon, he'd say, his voice low and serious. You know how things can change at the last minute. He leaned in closer one evening, his voice dropping to a whisper. I just don't want you to get into any trouble. That line. It's brilliant manipulation. It's textbook. He positions himself as your protector, the one looking out for you. Well, he is the actual danger. He's the wolf warning you about other wolves. I played my part. I pretended to agree, nodding with a worried expression. Then, I made my move. I asked to be involved. Can I see the documents we're submitting? I asked innocently. Could I maybe have copies for my own records? I just want to understand the whole process better. And that's where Elliot's own ego betrayed him. The thought that I, his supposedly compliant girlfriend, was smart enough to be genuinely involved in his grand scheme. It flattered him. He forwarded me PDFs of the fake applications. He sent me screenshots of his chats. He even, in a moment of sheer arrogance, let me listen in on another one of his calls with the mysterious Mr. Clark. Of course, I recorded it. During that call, I played the role of a worried, slightly naive applicant. I asked simple, direct questions. What's the official government reference number for this application? Where is your office located? I might need to drop off some extra papers. What's your official registration number with the immigration authority? The man on the other end of the line, this Mr. Clark, dodged every single question. He'd give vague, roundabout answers. Seeing his partner flustered, Elliot jumped in quickly, talking fast, throwing around jargon and complicated phrases, trying to confuse me with noise. It's a classic tactic. When liars feel trapped, they flood the moment with words to overwhelm your thinking, to stop you from connecting the dots. After the call, I acted relieved and grateful. Oh, thank you so much, I said, looking at Elliot with what I hoped looked like adoration. I feel so Much safer now that I understand it all. Elliot smiled. A smug, satisfied smile. The smile of a man who thinks he's just tightened the knot, securing his control. He had no idea he'd just handed me the rope. Now, I had the evidence. But I needed one more thing. I needed a clean trigger. An action so undeniable that the authorities would have no choice but to act on it. So, I created the bait. A few days later, I came to Elliot with exciting news. My aunt in the US wants to help us out, I said, my voice full of enthusiasm. She is sending some money so we can finish everything quickly and pay all the fees without any delays. His eyes lit up. It wasn't just a happy glimmer. It was too bright, too intense. It was the look of a gambler seeing a jackpot flashing on a slot machine. He tried to hide it, to compose himself. But greed has a smell, an energy you can't disguise. Wow, babe, that's amazing, he said, his voice a little too high. Double quotes. Yes, this will help a lot. I saw him message Talia almost immediately afterward. I managed to see the preview on his phone screen later. It said, she might send more. Stay ready. And there it was, the final, devastating piece of the puzzle. Talia wasn't just a side piece, a secret affair. She was involved. She was a partner in the scam. This whole time, it was never a love triangle. It was a fraud ring wearing a romance costume. The story was finally complete. While I was setting this trap, I was also quietly protecting myself. I changed all my banking passwords and enabled two-factor authentication. I opened a new bank account that he knew nothing about and started moving my money. I called my credit card companies and reported my cards lost, requesting replacements to a secure address. I gathered all my real documents, my passport, my birth certificate, my legal papers, and stored them somewhere safe, far away from the flat we shared. Because seeking revenge without protecting yourself first is just another kind of mistake. Now it was time for the final move, the checkmate. I set the next trap. Elliot, I said one evening, I want to meet Mr. Clark in person. I need that final peace of mind before we send my aunt's money. He resisted at first, of course. There's no need, babe. It's all sorted. He's a very busy man. But I knew the one thing he couldn't ignore: emotion. I let tears well up in my eyes. I didn't sob or make a scene, just enough moisture to make my eyes shine with vulnerability. Please, I whispered, my voice trembling just a little. I really need to feel safe about this. He caved. He agreed to set up the meeting. Not because he cared about my feelings. Not for a second. He agreed because he thought he could control the meeting. He thought he could manage me, manage Mr. Clark, and secure the final payout. He had no idea that I wasn't just setting up a meeting. I was setting up a handover. The pieces were in place. The authorities were alerted. And the trap was about to spring, and he was walking right into it. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribed so you don't miss the final part of this story. We finally arrived at the office, but it wasn't an office at all. It was a bustling cafe near a train station, just busy enough to feel safe, but quiet enough for a scam to unfold. A man in a sharp suit waved at Elliot, a gesture that felt a little too familiar, almost like they were old friends. Elliot introduced him with a confident smile. This is Clark. Mr. Clark's gaze landed on me, but he didn't see a person. He saw a file, a project. And right there, in that moment, I got my first real-time confirmation. I was just a mark to them. He launched into a polished speech filled with professional jargon, big, impressive words, vague promises, but absolutely no specifics. "We have your case moving forward," he'd say. "We just need the final processing fees. We'll submit the next steps shortly." I kept my voice calm and soft, trying not to betray the storm brewing inside me. "Can I see your credentials, please?" I asked. There was a tiny pause, a microsecond of hesitation. His eyes blinked just a fraction too slowly. He smiled, a practiced, plastic smile. "We don't usually show those," he said smoothly. "It's a matter of confidentiality," I nodded, pretending to accept his explanation. Then, I pushed a little further. "What's the official submission reference number for my case?" He didn't give me a number. He tried to give me a story, weaving another tangled narrative to distract me. That's when Elliot jumped in, his voice a little too quick, a little too eager. "Babe, don't stress about the details. This is all normal procedure." Normal. That's the word scammers use to dismiss your discomfort. They label your gut feeling as normal so you'll stop questioning, stop trusting yourself. I looked down, feigning embarrassment, letting them think they had me back on the hook. Then I asked one last thing. "Could you just email me from your official company domain right now? Just so I can feel a bit more secure." That's when the masks really started to slip. Mer. Clark's jaw visibly tightened. Under the table, Elliot's legs started bouncing uncontrollably. That's the body telling the truth when the mouth won't. Their carefully constructed illusion was starting to crack. I excused myself politely. "I'm just going to use the restroom." But instead of heading to the restroom, I walked straight out of the cafe. My hands were surprisingly steady. The stage for crying and heartbreak had long passed. This wasn't about a broken heart anymore. This was about survival. Outside, I pulled out my phone and made the call. I contacted the relevant reporting channels and laid out everything I had spent weeks preparing. Screenshots of their conversations, audio recordings of their lies, glaring inconsistencies. In the documents, they'd given me evidence of a forged signature, a complete bank transaction trail, and a web of messages that clearly showed their coordinated intent to defraud me. After I finished, I took a deep breath, walked back into the cafe, and sat down. I smiled. Elliot looked at me, a flicker of suspicion in his eyes. "Are you okay?" he asked. I looked him straight in the eye and said, "I'm better than okay." 5 minutes later, 2 police officers walked into the cafe. Their eyes scanned the room, and I saw Mr. Clark's entire demeanor change. Elliot's confident smile completely collapsed. For a split second, Elliot tried to maintain his composure. That's what predators always do first. They try to project calm. But it was too late. One of the officers walked towards our table and asked, "Are you Mr. Clark?" Murdoch Clark shot up from his chair so fast it scraped loudly against the floor. Heads all around the cafe turned to look. Elliot leaned in, his voice a panicked whisper. "Maya, what is this? What did you do?" I leaned in close, so only he could hear me. "I stopped protecting you." He stared at me, his face a mask of disbelief, as if I was the one who had committed the ultimate betrayal. Can you imagine that? The thief, utterly offended that the homeowner finally decided to lock the door. Mr. Clark was immediately questioned by the officers. Elliot, ever the controller, tried to speak for him, his voice too eager, too desperate to manage the situation. But his interference only made them both look more guilty. The officers asked for identification. Mr. Clark hesitated. Elliot's eyes darted around the cafe, frantically searching for an escape route that wasn't there. And in that moment, as their world crumbled, I felt something strange wash over me. It wasn't happiness or victory. It was relief. Profound, bone-deep relief. Because the most exhausting part of this whole ordeal wasn't being lied to. It was the crushing weight of carrying the lie all by myself. But that wasn't the end of the story. Because Elliot had secrets that were much bigger, much darker than just this scam. And the next consequence to fall was one I never saw coming: deportation. The investigation moved faster than I ever expected. It turned out Elliot wasn't a rookie at this. The questions they asked me made my stomach drop into a cold, hard knot. Has he done this before? Are you aware of any other victims? Do you know if he uses different names? Different names? That was the phrase that broke everything open. In that moment, I understood. Elliot didn't just cheat on me. He operated. Talia wasn't just some other woman he was seeing on the side. No, she was part of the machine, a gear in his elaborate con. Over the next few days, the full, ugly picture started to come into focus. More details emerged, painting a grim pattern. There were other women, other desperate money transfers, other so-called paper solutions to manufactured emergencies. It was the same script, just with a different cast. And then came the biggest twist of all, Elliot's immigration story. The one he had sold me with such heartfelt sincerity wasn't what he told me at all. It was riddled with gaps, inconsistencies, and old legal issues that he had skillfully buried under layers of charm and false promises. You see, karma doesn't always show up like a lightning strike from a clear sky. Sometimes, karma looks like paperwork, a stack of documents, an official stamp, a signature on a dotted line. He was detained, pending a full investigation. The day I got that update, I just sat on my bed, staring at my own hands. These were the hands that carried trays full of food, night after night. The hands that carefully counted my tips, dreaming of a future. The same hands that typed in the numbers to transfer my hard-earned money to a man who had studied my fears like a textbook. I thought I would feel a rush of joy, of triumph, but I didn't. I just felt quiet, because what I really wanted wasn't his pain, wasn't revenge. What I wanted was my own mind back. I wanted to reclaim the mental space he had occupied with his constant drama and manipulation. Then, the final outcome arrived. Deportation proceedings had been initiated. He tried to contact me. Of course, a message came through a mutual friend, then another. They were all crafted to sound like apologies, but they smelled of the same old manipulation. I really loved you. I just made some mistakes. And the absolute classic, you ruined my life. It's the predator's final song, blaming the prey for bleeding on its claws. I never responded, because getting closure from a liar is like asking them to build you another prison. It is just a new room where they can rewrite reality and make you question your own sanity all over again. Elliot was removed from the country, and for the first time in what felt like a lifetime, I slept through the night without my nervous system standing guard, waiting for the next crisis. Now, if you're listening to this and any of it feels familiar, I want to share the lessons I learned, both for your heart and for your safety. First, control is not care. If someone insists on keeping your documents, managing your money, or silencing your voice, that isn't protection. That's a cage. Run. Second, urgency is a major red flag. Anytime someone says you have to do it today or else, it's almost always a scam designed to stop you from thinking clearly. Third, love bombing is not love. Intense, overwhelming affection at the very beginning is not a sign of safety. It's a tactic. Real love is built on consistency, not intensity. Fourth, shame is the scammer's greatest weapon. They rely on your silence, on you being too embarrassed to speak up. Reporting them, telling someone, breaks that spell. Fifth, cheating isn't always about desire. Sometimes it's about entitlement. Some people cheat because they don't see you as a complete human being. They see you as something useful, a tool to get what they want. Sixth, protect your identity as fiercely as you protect your own body. Never give anyone the power to sign your life away, literally or figuratively. Seventh, remember that any revenge that destroys your own peace is still a loss for you. True justice should set you free. It shouldn't poison you from the inside out. And finally, trust your nervous system. Your body often senses danger long before your heart is ready to accept it. That feeling in your gut, that tension in your shoulders, it's trying to tell you something. Listen to it. Elliot thought my love for him made me weak, but he forgot something fundamental about island women. We know how to survive storms, and when we finally choose our own peace, we become the storm. If this story resonated with you, please share, like, and subscribe for more stories just like this. Thanks for listening.